Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another Harvest Moon project for the channel. I'm sure some of you are very excited for that news. I'm going to be playing Harvest Moon DS Sunshine Islands. So this is going to also be my first project using a DS emulator, so please bear with me. There may or may not be a couple of errors that come up, but I've done pretty extensive testing of the game, and aside from a couple of graphical errors that I've had a hard time working out and can't quite figure out what to do with, the game runs pretty smoothly. I had the option of putting the two screens left to right, but it was way too disorienting for me. I found it hard to sort of follow along, so I've sort of picked all of the settings that are easiest for me to follow, and hopefully this isn't too small on YouTube. You guys can see this all right. So I recently finished up this game on my own personal time, and I played it for close to 10 years, which is extremely long for a Harvest Moon game, but I've definitely learned from a lot of the mistakes I made playing through on my own, and so I hope I'll be able to sort of finish this in a much quicker time. And there's not a lot of information for this game, I find. It's quite old. It came out in about 2009 at this point, so it's not like it's anything new. But I feel like a lot of people don't know about this one, or they passed it over. And there are some pretty extensive game concepts and things like that. So there's a lot of explaining to do, so I feel like I'm going to do a lot of talking. So either way, we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'll continue talking here because we've got a lot of introduction to get through. I have my practiced file here, so I'm going to go ahead and just save onto a new slot. And I am going to be playing as a male character. The main reason for that being is because I played as a female in my own personal time, and I want to be able to experience the game in a new sort of way for myself as well. I'm looking forward to choosing some new marriage candidates, and the villagers also all have unique dialogue depending on if you're playing as a female or a male character, which is pretty cool. We're gonna go with my default name that I always pick. And the other cool thing is that whichever gender you play as, the opposite protagonist of the other gender will move into your village. So in my game, I actually had this farmer move into my village and just be a normal, regular villager, and they're also eligible for marriage. But I never had a chance to interact with the female protagonist at all, so that'll be a completely new experience for me as well. So we've picked our name, and now they're going to ask us to choose our birthday. Now, I'm going to pick my birthday at random. Normally, I kind of try to go somewhere along when my birthday actually is, which is in late summer. But for purpose of being strategic in this game, I'm actually going to choose a later birth date. And the reason for that is because you can actually get birthday gifts from the villagers, and if I have more time to earn friendship with them, then hopefully I'll be able to get some really good gifts to help me out at the end of the year. So we'll see if it works. I'm just going to pick a day at random. Let's go ahead and just pick the 19th of winter just to be fun. I don't remember if there's a festival on this day or not, but I guess we'll find out. And we've picked all our information, so let's go ahead and get actually started. Welcome to the Sunshine Islands, an island chain brimming with life. Some say the islands are not everything they once were, though. Many years ago, a great disaster befell the islands. Could there be a way to restore them? Maybe you can find out. Maybe I can. So we'll just get a brief little snapshot here of some of the villagers. some of the buildings, how the game is sort of laid out. And we have a lot of work to do. Like I mentioned, this game is very, very expansive. There's a lot to do in terms of unlocking things, unlocking areas. Growing crops is much more difficult in this game than other Harvest Moon games as well. What a beautiful island, the cool ocean breeze and warm sun. It's the perfect place to start my ranch. I'm so happy I moved here. Taro should be here to meet me any minute now. Hello, I hope you haven't been waiting long. Nope, I was talking about you literally about a second ago, so it's nice to meet you. How's the new house? It's a little small, but it should be fine for a beginning rancher. You're not the only new resident on the Sunshine Islands, you know. The whole town is new. These islands are ripe with promise and possibilities. Anyway, you should go meet everybody. Hey, over here. Everyone, this is Nick. Hello, I'm Mirabelle. I run the animal shop in town. I'm so happy that you've come here to take over this old, abandoned ranch. If you ever need any animals, I'll be happy to help you out. My name is Chen. I run the general store in town. If you ever need any seeds or supplies, I hope you'll stop by. Name's Gannon. I'm a carpenter. My store is on the outskirts of the town. Anything you want built, I'm your man. Well, you've got to pick a name for your ranch. What's it gonna be? That's true. A good ranch has a good name. I think I picked Sunny Ranch as my last name. And I'm always stumped. I never know what a good ranch name is gonna be. I wish they gave you the option to randomize like they do in some other Harvest Moon games. Let's go with Lush. That is just the first word that came to my head. So let's just do that. I'm not picky. It really doesn't matter. Lush Ranch. That's a good name. Good choice. It's wonderful to have another resident on the island. Welcome. I'm impressed you're starting up a ranch all on your own like this. You ever need anything, you give me a holler. Don't be a stranger. Come by and say hi whenever you want. Lovely people, very friendly. I've got a good feeling about these islands. I'll bet we can make a good life here. I've got a shipping business going, so I can ship and sell any crops you grow. If we work together, we can really turn this place into a top-notch ranch. By the way, do you have much experience with ranch work? I used to be a rancher, so I can teach you all about it. Follow me. Unfortunately, we don't have the option to skip a ton of this tutorial. Some of it we can skip, but he's basically just going to go through walking and clicking on things. Now, the way that the touchscreen works in this game is with the mouse, so I do apologize. You are going to hear me click. My mic will probably pick up on my mouse clicking, but it's the only way that I really found the touchscreen function to work on an emulator, and the touchscreen is a really, really important feature in this game, so I am going to have to use that from time to time. So he's just going to teach us about farming, nothing that we don't already know if you've ever played a Harvest Moon game. The basics of farming in this game are very similar to other games, but there's a system in this game that makes growing crops more difficult than it needs to be. It's sort of more convoluted than they needed to make it, and I will obviously go over that in another video. So we're going to just skip the tutorial. So he's just gonna skip it and give me everything I need. So he gives us our first watering can and our first hoe. The 4 round spaces you see in the lower left corner are your equipment slots. And in order to be able to use equipment, we have to put them into those slots. So he's basically telling us that we can open up the menu and put our tools in the slots manually. You can do it using a shortcut, but I guess it's not going to allow me to do that right now. I guess I have to do it the way that he wants me to. So anything that you want to have access to and you want to be able to use, you have to put them in these slots. Now, unfortunately, throughout the course of the game, there is never any possible way for you to ever increase your equipment slots, and as the game goes on and you have a lot going on and a lot to do, 4 slots is not a lot, so there's gonna be a lot of moving around that we're gonna have to do. So actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Because I have unlimited time at the moment, I'm gonna go around and I'm going to pick up all the weeds on my farm. I'm going to ignore all of the stones and all of the branches for now. But I don't have a sickle on me at the moment, obviously, so I can't get rid of these weeds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick them up instead. You can ship these. I think they're only worth $1 each. So, I mean, they're worth absolutely nothing, but this allows us to clear out our field, and I'm not actually having to waste any precious in-game time to do it, since we're still in the tutorial phase. We are going to have the option to clear out this entire field at another point in time. We will be getting our usual other tools, such as our axe and our hammer, but that's not going to be for a little while yet. And this is completely unnecessary. You don't have to do this, but weeds are a constant. They will grow in no matter how many times you clear them, and it's just nice to sort of get the space cleared up. You can also pick up branches and rocks and put them in your inventory, and you can sell those as well. And another really cool tip is that if you pick up a branch or a stone, like I've done there, and you put it into an equipment slot, and then you select it, what you can do is you can actually move it and place it elsewhere without actually throwing it out. And that will be useful, may or may not be useful later on. So anyways, I'm getting a little bit off track here. I've cleared out a good amount of space for me to kind of plant some turnips, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And it's completely up to you whether you want to plant horizontally or whether you want to plant vertically. I guess what I can do is I'm going to plant horizontally, I think. Just like in a lot of other Harvest Moon games, everything you plant is in a 3x3 square. So 1 bag of seeds contains 9 seeds total, and you have your 3x3 square. So this is, again, absolutely nothing new. If you've ever played Harvest Moon, most games have that same scheme. Unfortunately, with the tools that we have right now, we're only able to water 1 square at a time, so I would recommend not going too crazy with your planting at the very beginning of the game. This here is where we can fill up our watering can. And as you can see on the top, I'm using up stamina in order to water these. If I run out of stamina, I'll pass out and be sent home. You also have a fullness meter, and if you empty out your fullness meter, you'll also pass out and be sent home. So you not only have to keep an eye on your energy, but you have to feed your farmer as well. And your fullness also dictates how early or how late you get up. So it is important to keep an eye on that if you want to make the most out of your time. Alright. We've gone ahead and planted our seeds. We've cleaned out our farm a little bit. Don't forget to take care of those crops. You should check out the town when you get a chance. I'm sure you want to do everything, but start with growing crops to make money. Place harvested crops in the shipping bin next to your house. At 5 p.m. each day, whatever is in the shipping bin gets shipped and you get paid. I'll see you later. Alright, so that is day 1 complete. So in order to save your game, you have a save option in the main menu, right here at the very top. What's nice about this game is you can save as many times as you'd like. In later Harvest Moon games, especially some of the older or the newer handheld ones, you only have the option to save when you go to bed. So it's really nice just to be able to save willy-nilly as many or as few times as you'd like. So we'll go ahead and we'll save our game. It doesn't take very long to save, fortunately. Saving and loading is usually pretty quick, and we also have our stats up at the very top, which will update. You can see that we're starting out with $500, which is nice. And I have a lot of other things I could probably talk about because there's just so much explaining to do, but I've already talked a lot in this first day. There's been a lot of content to cover, so I'm actually going to pause, and when we come back, we'll have a nap. We'll go into spring day 2, and we will continue on learning more about our farm. We'll learn about the island we're living on, and hopefully we'll also learn a little bit about some of the villagers as well. So bear with me, guys. I know it's a lot of talking and it's a really, really slow start, but I do assure you that it will be fun to watch, so I hope you will bear with me. Hope you enjoyed this first episode, and I hope that I will see you next time.